How to Be an Adult in Relationships, The 5 Keys to Mindful Loving by David Richo, aims to help people develop healthy and loving relationships. This video will go through the 5 sections in just a few minutes. Each of the 5 sections focuses on a key aspect of mindful loving. The 5 keys are attention, how to pay attention to your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in relationships, and communicate honestly and assertively with your partner. Acceptance, accepting one's partner for who they are, without trying to change them or control them. This involves practicing compassion, forgiveness, and letting go of attachment to expectations. Appreciation, expressing appreciation for your partner and cultivating a sense of wonder and curiosity in your relationships. Affection, how to communicate your needs and desires for physical and emotional intimacy in a loving and respectful way. And authenticity, being true to and honoring your own values and boundaries in relationships while also respecting your partner's autonomy. This book is a helpful guide for anyone who wants to build more mindful, loving, and fulfilling relationships, full of practical exercises and examples to help you apply these principles in your life. The first key is attention. Developing this kind of awareness can help you communicate more effectively with your partner and develop more deep intimacy and connection. To achieve good attention, Richo recommends several practices, such as mindful communication. This involves being present and fully engaged in conversations with your partner and practicing active listening, empathy, and validation. It also involves expressing oneself honestly and assertively, without blaming and attacking one's partner. For more on this, see Conversations That Matter and Nonviolent Communication. Mindful presence is the act of being aware of your thoughts and emotions and the meaning of your partner's body language, tone of voice, and nonverbal cues. It also involves being aware of one's own triggers and patterns of behavior and learning to respond rather than react in difficult times. Mindful awareness involves cultivating a non-judgmental, curious, and open attitude towards oneself and one's partner, as well as being aware of one's own assumptions, biases, and expectations in relationships. Let's say that Jack and Jill are in a committed relationship, but Jack often works late and doesn't have much time to spend with Jill. One day, Jill expresses her frustrations to Jack, saying, "I feel like we never spend any quality time together anymore. It's like you don't care about me or our relationship." If Jack responds defensively or dismissively, he might say something like, "What do you mean? I work hard to provide for us. Can't you see that?" This response is likely to escalate the conflict and make Jill feel unsupported. However, if Jack responds mindfully, he might say something like, "I hear you're feeling neglected and unimportant. That must be really hard for you, and I'm sorry. I'm willing to listen and try to find a solution that works for both of us." This response validates Jill's feelings, demonstrates empathy, and opens the door to further conversation and problem solving. By practicing mindful attention in relationships, we can learn to communicate more effectively, deepen our intimacy and connection, and build stronger and more fulfilling partnerships. The second key, acceptance, involves practicing compassion, forgiveness, and letting go of attachment to expectations. To achieve this, Richo recommends several practices, such as letting go of perfectionism. This involves recognizing that no one's perfect, including yourself and your partner, and learning to accept flaws and imperfections with kindness and understanding. Practicing compassion. This involves seeing one's partner's struggles with empathy and responding with kindness. Cultivating forgiveness involves letting go of resentment and bitterness towards one's partner and instead choosing to forgive and move forward in a constructive way. For example, if Jack and Jill have been together for a while and Jack has a habit of leaving his dirty clothes on the floor, Jill might feel frustrated and resentful towards him. If Jill practices acceptance, she might recognize that Jack has had a different standard for cleanliness than she does, and that it's not a reflection of his love or respect for her. She might choose to let go of her expectations and instead find a way to work together to keep their shared living space clean and organized. In the appreciation section, Richo encourages us to express gratitude and appreciation for our partners and to cultivate a sense of wonder and curiosity in our relationships. To achieve this, Richo recommends several practices, such as focusing on the positive. This involves intentionally looking for the positive aspects of one's partner and relationship and expressing appreciation for them. Cultivating wonder. This involves approaching one's partner and relationship with a sense of curiosity and openness, and being willing to explore and learn new things together. Creating rituals of connection involves developing shared activities and traditions to help deepen intimacy and connection, such as date nights, shared hobbies, or special rituals. For example, if Jack and Jill have been together for a while and are feeling disconnected, they might decide to create a weekly ritual of cooking dinner together and sharing of their favorite memories from the past week. This ritual helps them to reconnect, express gratitude for one another, and deepen their sense of intimacy and connection. In the affection section, Richo focuses on physical and emotional intimacy and teaches us how to communicate our needs and desires in a loving and respectful way. To achieve better affection, we should implement several practices, including expressing our needs and desires, which involves communicating one's own needs and desires in a clear, respectful, and non-threatening way, and being willing to listen to and support one's partner's needs and desires as well. Practicing safe sex involves being mindful of one's own and one's partner's sexual health and safety, using protection, and getting tested regularly. Exploring sensuality involves exploring one's own and one's partner's senses and sensuality, and finding ways to bring more pleasure and enjoyment into one's sexual and emotional experiences while maintaining a feeling of emotional and physical safety. For example, if Jack and Jill have different needs and desires when it comes to physical intimacy, they might have a conversation about what each of them is comfortable with and what they would like to explore together. They might set boundaries and communicate clearly about their needs and find ways to respect and honor each other's preferences and desires. In the authenticity section, Richo focuses on the importance of being true to oneself and cultivating a sense of self-awareness and self-respect. There are several practices which can help us achieve this, such as being honest and authentic about one's own thoughts, feelings, and needs in a relationship, and being willing to express oneself in a respectful and non-judgmental way. Cultivating self-awareness involves developing a deeper understanding of oneself, including one's values, beliefs, and desires, and being willing to reflect on and learn from one's experiences in a relationship. Practicing self-respect. This involves treating oneself with kindness, compassion, and respect, and setting boundaries and making choices that align with one's own values and needs. For example, if Jack and Jill have been together for a while, and Jack is considering taking a job in another city, Jill might feel torn between wanting to support Jack's career and wanting to stay close to her own family and friends. If Jill practices authenticity, she might communicate honestly with Jack about her feelings and concerns, and work together to find a solution that honors both of their needs and values. She might also take the time to reflect on her own priorities and make a decision that aligns with her own sense of self-respect and integrity. The book offers a practical and compassionate guide to developing healthier and more fulfilling relationships. By focusing on the 5 keys, you can cultivate mindfulness, compassion, and self-awareness in your relationships, and how to communicate more effectively, set healthy boundaries, and build deeper intimacy and connection with your partner. Overall, the book emphasizes the importance of personal growth and self-discovery in the context of loving relationships, and provides you with valuable tools and insights for creating a more joyful and fulfilling partnership.
MA